So today I'm going to be reacting to a video on why rappers stopped writing, the punch-in method. So please put a like on the vid. We're going to get into this. I haven't watched any of it yet.
I think a lot of people picture like modern rappers who really just like pen and paper in the studio, writing down their raps, figuring it out, scratching it out, changing it.
Yeah, no. We stopped writing a long time ago. Not many people write.
And I'm not going to lie, I personally look at that as a problem. We'll get into why later, but let's continue.
Back in the day when people were just using tape, you just had one take. So everybody had to be on point.
It used to be a time before the 24 track, for instance. If a singer went in, you had to sing that top to bottom, baby. You had to have it figured out.
Most music up until about 20 years ago was always recorded on tape. It's more of a process. It's a lot more laborious, a little bit more tedious. I've watched.
Now I want to stop here because this is sometime before 97 for sure, because it's Tupac and he's holding a piece of paper as he is rapping. Tupac's music is timeless. Tupac was not the most lyrical miracle rapper, but Tupac is one of the top rappers of all time. And one of the things that makes him a top rapper, even though he wasn't lyrical miracle, the way his lyrics made you feel. He knew how to capture the feeling within the lyrics. Yes, he did work fast, but at the end of the day, he was a writer. So I want you to note, yes, it's Tupac. Yes, it's before 2000. Yes, it's before 2010 and 2020, but he was writing on paper. We're going to continue. I just want you to note, that's one of the guys who writes on paper.
Tupac giving a speech. Hey, we have 2 hours of studio time. Come here, prepare.
We don't have time or the luxury to spend all of this time doing one song. We don't have it.
Fast forward a little bit. Word starts to spread, mid to late 90s that Jay doesn't actually write any of his rhymes down.
So you literally come in the studio and then formulate sentences in your head.
Yeah.
And then spit it to that beat.
Yeah.
And you never write down the lyrics.
Never.
Which leads to other rappers wanting to do the same thing.
I found out that Jay wasn't writing. I didn't want to ever see a pen or paper again.
He has class, first in the lunch line. My lunch ticket let me eat rappers at lunch.
What I know is...
Now listen, before we continue, I want you to know that I did a lot of rapping. I used to rap. I know the skill set. I know it very well. A lot of average people, as far as people who don't rap or people who just rap for fun or whatever, they don't know the skill set. Now, this is the thing. I have to let you know that to know this is coming from a place of knowledge. This is not coming from somebody who's ever done it. It doesn't matter if you've had a record deal or not. We're talking about art. We're talking about art. So I just have to make that distinction clear before nobody care about your raps. You ain't never made it. Who cares? Who cares? Rapping is about, it's a process to rapping. And then, there's the way that rapping is done and it's made. And there's a universal skill set that applies to anybody who has ever rapped. So with that being said, I just got to get that out the way so you understand in the context of this video, this is coming from a place of experience and knowledge, not from somebody who just like rap and just be on Twitter. I actually have done this. So with that being said, these two individuals, Jay-Z and Wayne, let's get this out the way. They are both amazing. Top tier, top 5, top 10, whatever you want to put them in. Top 15 at worst. But I think that's ridiculous, personally. But hey, man, it might not be your cup of tea, whatever. Top 10. Undeniably all time, in my opinion. Those two individuals, high key, ruined rap. And I'm going to tell you why. Do I like the music that's coming out? Yes. Do I like a lot of artists that are coming out? Yes. When you look at Jay-Z and people figuring out that he didn't write, I'm not gonna lie to you, that didn't like just stop everybody from writing. Oh man, we're all done writing. No, it did push a lot of people in the direction of not writing, but not a tremendous amount, not the majority. So you look at Jay-Z's legacy, that's a part of his legacy. He begins to kind of create that trend because we didn't know that Big didn't write. We didn't have the internet and the resources that we have now to where that's like knowledge just everywhere and stuff like that. That wasn't a big thing in the 90s. That was a big thing after Big died. And Jay-Z also carried the torch with that. So then when you get to Lil Wayne is actually tremendous. Like, he is tremendous. When he was in his run from like '05 to 2010, I really think easily the most influential rapper of all time. And that is key. He is very influential. Everybody wanted to be him, especially a lot of these new guys coming up. Now, this is the thing. Wayne himself wanted to be a lyricist. Jay himself wanted to be a lyricist. With them, they were focused on lyrics. Now, we can be honest, even though Wayne is highly skilled and stuff like that, sometimes he's dropped the ball as far as lyrics a few times. He said, I beat the track up like 100 arms. That's not a good bar for anybody, anywhere, anytime, at any point. That is just a filler bar. That is, if somebody else said that, you would say is hot trash. Especially depending on the emphasis that they put on it. But Wayne also said real G's move in silence like lasagna. Great bar. So with that being said, they were focused on lyrics. When you get to a lot of the newer people who are influenced by Wayne, like Future, Young Thug, who also influenced a slew of other people, what they like about Wayne, and I want to note that they're from the South. Yes, you have the Dungeon Family and Andre 3000 that come out of the South, but they don't really move the needle as far as Southern culture, and like, you know, they're not representative of the majority as far as the majority of rappers that come out of the South and the majority of the music that comes out of the South. The South does have, if you go back into history and stuff like that, a few lyrical guys like Scarface and, you know, we mentioned Andre 3000 and just a whole Dungeon Family. Killer Mike is dope and stuff like that. So you got a lot of lyricists, but you have a lot of people who I would say the majority, even if you look at the legends, aren't. Master P is not a lyricist. Silk the Shocker is not a lyricist. And this is not a knock to any of them. I could keep going, but you get the point. So with that being said, they have a different culture than New York when it comes to this. And they still want to embrace that culture. And even then, when it comes to Wayne, that's what made Wayne so good, because he could give you the bars, but he could still give you the culture and the feel of what people like from the South. That is what people like Future and Thug took from it. They took the feel, the style, not necessarily the high level skills as far as, you know, flow and the bars and things of that nature. So they're more song makers. And yeah, you could say, oh yeah, Young Thug, he be having some punchlines here and there. Nobody looks at him as a lyrical guy. That's not what he hangs his hat on. That's what Wayne hung his hat on, being a lyrical guy. So with that, it's a big difference between Wayne and Thug. Let's not do this. So with that being said, I could go and name a bunch of rappers. But when you get to this point, the reason I say that they ruined it is because that influence made everybody think that they shouldn't write. It made everybody think, yo, what I should do is just come in and just say whatever I feel and that be that, and then I just get out of the studio. Now, this is the thing. It makes for good music in a lot of cases, which they're musicians, right? But this is hip hop. This is rap. This is why a lot of the lyricism suffers, because a lot of these people aren't putting a lot of thought into what what they're putting out, into what they're saying. And that's just what it is. So that's a part of the game that has suffered. And this is the thing that I always tell people. You got to really think about this. Drake is a top rapper. Kendrick is a top rapper. Nicki is a top rapper. All of them have bars. J. Cole, a top rapper. Think about the years that those people came out. They came out in the early 2010s. They all came out before 2014. By now, there is supposed to be another torch holder, somebody that is supposed to be past the torch. I always say X Temptation, Triple X. He died. He could have been a torch holder and stuff like that. Juice World, possibly, because Juice World actually didn't write, and he was actually a very good freestyler. I don't know if he would have held the torch, but it's possible. When you get past that, the people that are around now, since 2014, 20 whatever, since after Kendrick and J. Cole came out, there's nobody that has come out that is even eligible to be a torch holder and mark all the boxes. Like, you got the swaggy music, you got the radio hits, but you also got the bars, and you're also selling a lot. There's nobody who X's all those boxes as far as these new rappers. It's just not. It's just not. And if you really think about it and really look at it, yeah, the people that I mentioned that are on top of the game, they're all lyricists to some degree. They all are. But when you look at, do you look at Roddy Ricch as a lyricist? No. Kodak Black is definitely lyrical, but he's not successful enough. He doesn't stay out of jail enough. He's messed up his PR and stuff like that as far as the cases that he's had and stuff. So he cannot be that guy. He just can't. Who else do you have that you could think of? Anybody that you could think of, there's going to be a flaw with them, but a lot of them are just not lyrical. That is a major flaw. Did I mention Lil Baby yet? I think I did, but just there was a bunch of hype around him. It just didn't connect to me as far as, like, not just lyrically, but I just didn't see the superstar in him. I just didn't. And granted, he's not a superstar now. I could keep going, but you get the point. The last thing I'm going to say, because I'm not reacting to the rest of this video because I done dragged it a little bit. Nas was also writing in 2001 on paper. And Nas is one of the best lyricists of all time. He beat Jay-Z in a rap battle, in a beef. So with him doing that, and this, the Sway interview that you've seen, that's probably around that time frame. I point to him to say there were still rappers who were still amazing rappers who sat down, put thought into what they were writing, and just put it out there when they get in the studio and stuff like that. Put it on paper and put it out there. I don't get why this is so attractive as far as not writing. I get, that it's a pat on the back and like a medal of honor and stuff like that, because people love to say I don't write, all this stuff. But it's like, I can tell you don't write, because this shit is not lyrically anything. This is not me being some old bitter dude, because it's like perfect example. Like, it's not like I don't rock with new music. I love a lot of new music. Rilo Rodriguez is always kicking that shit. He's always kicking that shit. He's got bars, but also he has good music and stuff like that. For whatever reason, it's not connecting with the fans. He's not getting the budget to where he can be that next up or anything. Like, he's not even in the talks. It's not even in a consideration or nothing like that. So it's not like it's not dudes from the South who are new, who are lyrical. He's one of them. I mean, Kevin Gates could definitely be one of those guys, but for whatever reason, he kind of blackballed. Cats don't really rock with him. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on. Kevin Gates had everything going for him. He still kind of does. I know he's getting paper. I know he's doing his thing. I just think he didn't really want to be a part of what was going on in the industry, so he distanced himself, or they don't want him to be a part of what they got going. One or the other, man. So you don't see him doing a bunch of collaborations with top tier rappers or nothing like that. You don't really see that. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that, man. That's just how I feel about the writing and stuff like that, man. It's just like, I think that's one of the things that really is taking a toll to this day on hip hop. And I may even speak about it at another point, because I've said this on the channel. I seen Cuban Doll say, it's not my, like, they saying that my voice sound bad or that I'm off beat. It's not my job to be on beat. It's the engineer's job to put me on beat. I heard Cuban Doll say that, bro. And that be the mentality of these new rappers. They be like, I'm popular, I'm pretty, I get money, whatever the case may be. So I might as well rap. And guess what? It works. Because the bar is so low as far as lyricism, bro. Is so low. And this contributes to that. That is my point. I'm done. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. I'm out.